Okay, gang, this ought to be a cinch.
Wow, we've crashed a plane and a train so far. Why not a boat this time?
Oh! Arr, matey! Who's next?
Can we let the raccoon finish, please?
Thank you, Stella. Now, our destination is this house, the Connors. We'll enter through the back door.
Oh, subtle. What's the occasion?
Thanks.
So, crossing the yard without dying or anything along those lines?
Should be simple.
Every time should be simple. What are we at now? 0 for 9?
9. We come out of the hedge here and head toward the street.
This sounds familiar.
Relax, Verne. We won't go into the street this time. I got a system. We'll take the sewers.
The sewers is a system? You don't know what words mean, huh?
Yay, sewers! Then we can smell like Stella!
What did you say?
Something, yay!
We'll make a sharp U through the sewers and come out right by the Connors' back door. Start to finish in no time. Everyone's got it?
No,
What about the...
My little toy submarine ran out of baking soda last year.
Great. Let's get this show on the road.
It's so peaceful here. So innocent.
Yeah, let's nail them.
Hold on.
What's up, Ozzy?
He was just here, the sniffer. He set that statue down and then chased Penny's children into the front yard. It was all I could do to wait here and play dead until he arrived.
Terrific. Stay here. We'll go take a look. Don't worry. Jump.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Over the Hedge. It's time for the beginning of the Connor heist. Of the Connor house, where Connor lives. I have a cousin named Connor. I haven't seen him in a long time. And yeah, I fucked that up. This thing continues to spin around as you fight these gophers, as I was surprised to be reminded of. And unfortunately, this first part of the Connor heist is another pretty standard just fight a trillion enemies onslaught. I don't want to keep complaining about that because, like, it's a pretty central part of the game, and I don't know, it's weird that I never really thought much of it when I was a kid. I don't know, it's hard to place myself sometimes in the mindset of me as a gamer child, you know? But in general, I think I was more accepting of gameplay conventions and quirks and things, and, you know, not necessarily in this case, because I haven't really decided. Like, I've said before that it's repetitive and I don't think there's a lot of variety to the moves, but I don't really know what I'm looking for in that. I mean, there's an X button attack, a B button attack, and a Y button attack. I just think that most of the time it just comes down to whacking enemies over and over again, and I think there's just a lot of parts that rely very heavily on just that, and there's not a great variety of enemies or a variety of things to do. Because, I don't know, I think there could be a lot of, like, more creative, like, puzzle and platform stuff they could do with these sort of heist missions. You know, maybe do some, like, the actual stealing parts are more than just, like, tossing it into a wagon. Like, it's avoiding humans or, you know, having to carry stuff in precarious situations. I don't know. I just think, you know, some of the levels are a little bit repetitive, it gets a little bit tedious, and they could have done other stuff with it. But hey, you know, I'm not sitting here like I, you know, could do any better. I don't know how to program, I'm not a game designer, I don't know shit about shit, so I'm talking out of my ass as a person playing a video game and talking about it, not as a serious, not as a person who should be taken too seriously. But it's just kind of what I've been thinking. And that move really came in clutch there. That really gave those beavers a beating. They're not beavers, but they look like that to me sometimes. And for some reason, I thought that there are beavers in this game. I'm pretty sure they're not. I know gophers are technically rodents, which I complained in a previous video about the fact that they just use the rat icon in the corner for the counter, even when there's gophers and other types of things. But I guess it's just for, like, all of the rodent class of enemies. Which, I mean, does constitute quite a lot of them. I know that bears are not rodents, but their snouts, like, I do feel like they're not too distantly descended from, the shrews of the prehistoric era. So yeah, 2 birdhouses there, just, for fun. Good times all around. And over here is a trap that's very easy to get caught in because it looks like a regular item, and also there's a CD under it, or a DVD. I think it's more a DVD because most of the thingies, I mean, do they call them CDs though? I don't know, because some of the things are video things, but they also make there's like a guitar sting, so I don't know. I don't know if that counts as a sting. I don't think it's a riff either though. I'm not a guitarist, so I don't know all of the jargon, all of the nomenclature of guitar actions. And the exterminator just looks hilariously, plump and weird and pathetic. Look at his weird, huge, flat feet and his big body compared to his tiny, weirdly flat-looking head. He also doesn't look like he has a neck. I mean, he looks kind of fucked up in the movie, too. Also, I've been waiting for an opportunity to make mention of, and I was talking over it, but if you could just hear it just now, it was playing. The fake version of Ben Folds' song Rockin' the Suburbs that is in this game. For those who don't know, if you haven't seen Over the Hedge, or maybe you're not familiar with Ben Folds wrote a number of original songs for the Over the Hedge movie. And he also re-recorded a previously written song of his that was on his album of the same name, which, fun fact, came out on September 11th, 2001. It came out on that date because it's the day before his birthday, but it ended up being so much more. Yeah, which is one of the better Ben Folds albums, I would say. I have known about Ben Folds for my entire life because he is a favorite of many people in my family, particularly my older sister, who is the one that put me on to him when I was 5. He and a couple of other select artists were the only music that my mother would be okay with me listening to as a child that had a not insignificant amount of cursing in it, because he does do a fair bit of cursing, but there's usually clean versions to all his songs, including the re-recorded version of Rockin' the Suburbs that he did, which completely deletes an entire segment where he repeats over and over again, "You better look out because I'm gonna say fuck," and replaces it with this very long spoken part by a British man who Ben Folds has collaborated on a number of songs. He did a now very problematic, and he has since denounced it and taken it off of streaming. He did a piano ballad version of the Dr. Dre song, Bitches Ain't Shit, in which he and this other white British man say the N-word because it's part of the song. And this was in the late 90s when, white people weren't really thinking about that very much, I guess. He also is in one of the original songs that he wrote for Over the Hedge, which is Lost in the Supermarket, which I don't think appears in the actual movie. It might be during the credits or something. The Rock in the Suburbs re-record is the first song in the credits, and it's a good song. I really like Rock in the Suburbs as a song. They have to change a lot of the lyrical content, though, because... And I think it's a good way to make a child-friendly version of the song, because it's not just getting rid of the curse words, but, like, a kid won't get what the song Rock in the Suburbs is about, or what it's doing. Because it's meant to be making fun of, in a way, the people who listen to Ben Folds. Like, he's always described himself as, like, punk for sissies. Because it's, like, more alternative, it's a softer sound, usually very piano heavy. He has a sort of higher voice, higher register. But they're still about, like, being angsty and generally against being, like, told what to do, and, like, having relationship problems and band, like, creative issues with the label, and, well, you know, being aware of yourself as an artist and stuff. Like, all that stuff is there throughout a lot of Ben Folds' discography. And so Rock in the Suburbs is basically supposed to be, like, a sarcastic anthem for this type of, like, white boy who feels oppressed because his life is boring and, like, people think he's an asshole. And it's a funny enough song. Weird Al directed the music video for it. It's pretty cool. I remember watching the music video on YouTube back in Nam. And, now we have these annoying-ass weasels, which I completely forgot. I forgot about all the, like, late-game enemies in this game. I thought it was just a bunch of fucking rats and gophers the whole time, which is a lot of it, but, the weasels have, I think that one just walked right off the edge. It was weird. The weasels have these electric shock things that they can just utterly fuck you with. And later on, when you get a lot of weasels and a lot of other enemies, and they're all, like, bum-rushing you at once, you can get into what I almost just got into there, where you just are in a parade of getting your ass shocked all of a sudden. But this little bit of fighting didn't go too poorly, because you can knock them off of this ledge. But yeah, Ben Folds did a bunch of music for, like, random movies back around that time. Like, I always thought it was really, like, in hindsight, it's kind of strange that he did music for, like, this major studio animated film. But some of the, like, his song Heist that he did for this, is good. Still, the, like, sad song that plays during the beat in Over the Hedge that we've seen in a billion movies, where it's, you lied to us, and then we're sad about it, and then later on, like 5 minutes later, they apologize or whatever. The song for that is actually a really good song. He really, like, didn't have to go that hard for it, but it's like a 6.5 minute ballad, and I think it's pretty good. And the full version of it, I think that's the only one that he put on another, like, on one of his albums. But yeah, but anyway, in this game, they can't do actual Rock in the Suburbs for one reason or another, so they just have this, like, very obvious sort of, like, dollar store clone of it, because it has that little guitar thing that it's not quite that in the game, but it's close to it compared to the actual song. But then you can really tell when the synth comes in, because in the original song the synth is in this one it's like it's complete. I can't even think of it right now, but it's completely different. Go back and listen to it. You can probably hear it in one of the first videos of the LP. I'll make sure it plays during the credits and everything. Like, there will be another time to point it out, but it's different. And every time the synth comes in, I just laugh because it sounds like it. I know that it's trying to be Rockin' the Suburbs, and it's one of those things where it sounds just enough like it. Where if you are, for instance, Child, a non, Ben Folds, you're not as keen on Ben Folds as I was as a kid, and you hear it just at, as you're leaving the theater after you see this movie that you like about talking animals, then you probably be like, oh, hey, it's a song, which is all it really had to be. But I'm kind of sad that Ben Folds wasn't like, yeah, you can use a song for the video game too. Like, why not? Just the instrumental for it? Like, the thing that they ended up using is close enough, so I feel like they should have. But yeah, he also did music for Hoodwinked. He did Red is Blue for Hoodwinked. That was weird. I don't know why a bunch of, random, animation people were coming at him in, 2005 asking if he wanted to do music, but whenever, get your coin. And that reminded me, the video is going to be wrapping up soon here, and I'm really pissed that I didn't know that there were birdhouses, and I miss all of them, so I might come back and get them, because this is a pretty short level. But it reminds me of, I think about the year 2006 so fucking much. I think that was the year that I discovered IMDb, so that was the year that I started, knowing every movie that was coming out. I didn't know much about them, especially, scary movies. I wouldn't look into them at all. But I just liked looking at the list of upcoming releases and looking at all the titles and then, seeing posters for them and stuff. And, I mean, obviously, in the, course of doing so, finding out about a ton of shitty fucking family movies and children's movies and animated films that I would probably end up seeing. But also just, noticing trends in release date choices and stuff. That's one way, not only from watching animated movies and listening to the commentaries of how they were made did I get into liking film, but it's also, that kind of stuff is how I got into starting to know things and notice things about the industry, which was neat. But it reminds me, recently, the day that I'm recording this actually is July 28th, and, I remember a very random thing, which is the movies Ant Bully and Barnyard, which I think are both Nickelodeon movies. And originally, Barnyard was going to come out on July 28th, 2006, and Ant Bully was going to come out on August 1st, and for some reason, they swapped, and Ant Bully came out on July 28th, and Barnyard came out on August 4th. And I don't know why. Maybe I'll look into it, and maybe in the next video I'll give you the reasoning for it. But I would like to find out sometime. But yeah, video's wrapping up, obviously, but I'd love to keep talking about 2006. Maybe I'll talk about it more in the next video, because it was a wonderful year, for me at least. Anyway, next time, more things. See you then for that. More Connor stuff.